So earlier today, I posted this graphic and got a lot of people talking, focused based on how you could put your money in the Bank of America savings account and you could earn 0.01%. Or you could buy stock in Bank of America and they'd pay you out an annual dividend close to 2.77%. I was quoting another tweet when I made this graphic, but since that time, that number is actually closer to 3%. So for today's discussion, we're going to use 3% as our working. Now, let's look at these two different options. Option one, you're a person here, you've got some money, let's call it $1,000, and you have the choice. You can either put it into Bank of America. Bank of America will thank you kindly for that, and then they'll take that money and they'll send it out to go work for them. It'll go out as credit cards or loan payments on maybe a car or perhaps a house as like a mortgage. And then those people will pay their credit cards. It's money going back to Bank of America, or they'll pay their house payment or their car payment. That money will come back. And then Bank of America will pay you a thank you in terms of savings deposit interest. That's that 0.01%. Not a lot. So for every $1,000, you get 10 cents a year. That's cents, not dollars. 10 cents a year for every $1,000 deposited with Bank of America. Now, people like this because it is safe. Savings deposits at Bank of America are FDIC insured. That means if the bank goes under, if you have another global financial crisis like 2008, Bank of America will get propped up by the government. They'll make sure that your savings deposits don't disappear and that you get your $1,000 back. Now, option two is you're here and you've got some cash and you've got this $1,000, but instead of giving it straight to Bank of America, you decide to open an investment account. So you go to Robinhood or E-Trade or whatever, and you start trading the New York Stock Exchange, and you look up their symbol is BAC, Bank of America Corporation, and you put that same $1,000 invested into them. So now you're not depositing it with them, you're investing it with them. So you're no longer a depositor, you're an investor, you're an owner, a part owner. You own a tiny, 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 tiny fraction of the company. But again, they take the money, the working capital that comes from other people. Oops, let me draw another person. Another people, he's got a stack of cash and he gives it to the bank. The bank sends it out for these other things that we talked about. Those payments come back in. They say, thanks, Greg. Thanks for loaning us your money. Here's 10 cents for every $1,000 or whatever. But meanwhile, they're making a ton of profit because they're only paying out 0.01%, but they're getting paid 19% on a credit card, maybe 3% on a car, and 4 or 5% on a house. So bank's making great money. So down here, we've got all this profit. Well, the bank wants to thank its shareholders, part of the New York Stock Exchange, and this guy who decided to open his Robinhood or E-Trade or Charles Schwab account, whatever, they pay that back in the form of dividends. Dividends. So dividends are just a, hey, thanks for investing in our company, because that money not only just goes into Wall Street, but it actually goes a lot of times to the companies that then help give them working capital and all sorts of great stuff like that. So that dividends. Now, Bank of America has been paying dividends since 1993. That's 27 years. And for a good while, those dividends grew and grew and grew until they were about 64 cents per share. So for every one share of Bank of America stock that you owned, you would get 64 cents a year. Now, 2008 global financial crisis happened, and that went down to 1 penny a year. 1 penny per quarter. So it was like 4 cents a year. Not a big difference, but anyways, since that time, it's grown again, and now it's at 72 cents a year per share. So what's interesting about that is you can buy a Bank of America stock for $23.77. That's what it closed at today, and that dividend is 72 cents per share. So when you divide that out, it equals about 3%. So if you took that $1,000 that you have and you bought the BAC stock, BAC, Bank of America, they would pay you $30 a year just for owning the stock as a dividend. Now, if the price goes up, awesome. You've got those $30 a year plus whatever your $1,000 turns into. If the stock goes down and your $1,000 is worth less, you still get that $30 a year. So that's kind of cool. So risk to reward. All right, so let's talk about it. Savings account, save And over here, invest. Well, with a savings account, you get a measly 10, whoops, sorry, 0.10 cents a year. That's what you get per year for your $1,000 of savings. For an investment, if you buy Bank of America stock, you get that dividend of $30 a year. Now, the risk is that this could go up, which would be a good thing, or it could go down, which would be a bad thing. The price, the value, so that initial $1,000 turns into 1,005 or 990, so a little risk there. Over here, it's FDIC insured, so that's a lot safer. But man, if you do this 2 years or 3 years, or maybe you've got $5,000, and you really start to think about how it grows, that 10 cents is not going to make a difference long term. Those $30 are going to start to add up, and that'll help, especially if the company grows. If you've got a good bank that's not going under, that's not going to disappear, and hopefully we don't have any more global financial crises anytime soon, then that $30 continues to get paid out every year, and your $1,000 becomes a little bit more. So risk to reward. And it doesn't have to be in either or. You could take 500 and put it into savings. Let's see, that's 500. Put it into savings over there. And you can put 500 and invest it over here. And, any sort of split. It doesn't matter. But I just wanted to help break down how we got to these numbers on that original graphic. You can put your money in the bank as a deposit, or you can invest your money in the bank and get back those stock dividends plus whatever the price appreciates to.